and welcome to another episode of the Marco Podcast.
Hey everyone, so you may be like, this episode sounds kind of familiar. Well, that's what happens when you are bulk editing and bulk scheduling and trying to make sure that you get all your episodes out for the end of the year, that you may accidentally publish 2 episodes on one day instead of a week apart like you were supposed to do. So if you've already heard this episode, listen to it again. You may find out something that you didn't hear the last time. And if you haven't listened to it, yay! You can listen to it twice to catch up with those people who already listened to it and who are going to listen to it again. But this is episode 49. This is the last episode of 2023. As I said on Sunday's episode, I will be back on the 10th of January with brand new episodes. I've been interviewing and talking to some amazing women, and I'm so excited to share their stories on the show, share their tips, organizing tips, business tips, just everything. Super excited about it. So if you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe to the email list. The link is in the show notes. I'll be sending out emails, even though I'll be on a break. I'll be sending out emails and giving sneak peeks of what's to come for next year. Also, make sure that you follow me on social media. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. That's usually where I hang out the most. Also on Threads and Pinterest. I'm not on those as much as I am on the other 3, but when we come back, it'll be episode 50. I am so excited about that. 50 episodes, y'all. Super excited. So I'm going to plan something fun for that. So again, if you've already heard this episode, enjoy it once again. And if you haven't, enjoy it for the first time. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode. Today, I am going to talk about bartering as an entrepreneur. I'm sure we all know what bartering is, but just in case, bartering is defined as the exchange of goods and services without using money. And bartering can be a great tool. Like, it was used for many, many years, and a lot of people actually still use the bartering system for certain things. And can be a really great tool in the small business entrepreneurship world. Like, if you're a new entrepreneur, a new business, and you're trying to get your name out there or get people familiar with your products and your services, you have to build an audience and you have to build that trust factor. And so sometimes you may be looking to barter with other businesses. The person that's a t-shirt maker could get 2 free massages, and the massage therapist could get 10 shirts, or whatever would be equivalent to the 2-hour massage, or whatever terms they happen to agree upon. Bartering is usually just a pretty informal thing. There are usually not any contracts drawn up or any type of lawyers or any type of legal thing or anything like that involved. It's just usually an agreement between 2 people. So reasons to barter would be, again, to gain experience and to build your portfolio, and also to network. But there are some things to consider when you are thinking about bartering. The first thing that I want to talk about is transparency. It's extremely important that both parties are crystal clear on what their expectations are and what their services and goods are valued at. If you're the massage therapist and you charge $150 an hour for a massage, and the t-shirt designer charges $15 per shirt, a barter between the 2 of you may be 30 shirts for a 2-hour session. That is of equal value to both parties monetary wise. But let's also look at some other factors with that. Factor in that the person has to design the t-shirts, then they have to print the design either at home or send it off someplace to print it, depending on what their system is for printing shirts. Then they have to press the shirts, they have to package them up, and they either have to ship the shirt, so that's money for shipping, or they have to drop the shirts off. So now that's gas that we're talking about. If all of this is taken into consideration, the t-shirt designer may decide that they only want to provide 20 shirts for a 2-hour session. And this needs to be made extremely clear when the terms of the bartering are being laid out, so that at the end of this, there's no confusion on who was supposed to get what and how much of it. Counter offer. Like, it's okay to counter offer on a barter. If you don't agree with the terms that are set in front of you, you by no means have to be like, okay, I'm going to take that because of fear of hurting the other person's feelings. Like, if the other person's feelings get hurt because you do a counter offer, then the 2 of you probably don't need to be working together anyways. I I participate in a few bartering agreements. I've offered to send emails in exchange for a review, or to do a business audit for someone in exchange for a review. When I was doing my crafting business, I made a few shirts and sweaters for someone who said they were interested in having me do merch for their business. That merch for business, it always seemed to get me. Like, I always got sucked into that because all I was seeing was dollar signs, and I was not looking at the bigger picture, which is so much more than that. But story for another time. And so I just asked them if they would post the sample products that I made for them. And I made these products free of charge for them. And if they would tag my business, because they knew like a lot of people and stuff like that. And they told me that they would do it for me, but it never happened. And when I asked them about it, they said something about, oh, the setup wasn't right for how they wanted the picture to look. And, oh, they couldn't find time to take the pictures. And this is somebody who posts on social media all the time. But they said they could never find time to take the pictures of the shirts or to tag my business in it. Like I said, they never post them. I held up my end of the bargain, but they didn't. That's just something to be mindful of. If you're going to barter with somebody, hold up your end of the bargain. It's not fair, and it's not cool to bargain with somebody or to barter with someone, and then they do their end and you don't do your end, because one, that shows you as untrustworthy, and that's not going to make me personally, that's not going to make me want to recommend your brand to anyone, recommend your products, or recommend you to anyone. And that's something to think about too, is that how you act in a situation can have a trickling effect on other situations. Like, it could actually cause you to lose business in the long run, because you don't know who that person you're bartering with knows and what kind of connections they may have that could help you to elevate the next step in your business. So just stick with your terms and agreements. And if there's a problem that comes up with it, then talk it out. Like, find a way to work it out. Just make sure that it makes sense, because typically you would pay for a service out of your personal account, not your business account, unless it's something that's directly related to your business, like a training class or a coaching session or something along those lines. But if you're the one with the product, like in the case of the t-shirts, and you're going to have to pull money from your business account to purchase the supplies you need, unless you already have them. And so like, for instance, with the case of the t-shirts, if you don't already have the supplies that you need on hand, then you're probably going to have to pull money from your business account to purchase what you need. So then also with the t-shirts, think about the time factor that I mentioned earlier. Because in the case of the massage therapist, we use the massage therapist as an example, but in the case of a service, in this case, the massage therapist, chances are they already have their supplies on hand. They're just giving up their time. And they're more than likely going to schedule you for a time when business is slow, or before or after business hours. Let's take a look at the whole picture so I can make sure that I'm making sense here. You had to design the shirts, you had to print the design, you had to press the design, and you had to package the shirts up. Even the person already has their design and their logo, you still have to make sure that it's formatted right, that it's the right pixels and all of that before it can go to print. So then after you package up the shirt, you had to deliver the shirts or either ship the shirts. And then you maybe even had to order more supplies to make good on your barters. If you only have black and white shirts on hand, but they wanted green shirts, you had to go out and order green shirts. So take all of that into consideration when you are bartering. If you're a product business, when it comes to barter, don't offer things that you do not already have, or that you can't get for a low price. So that goes back to the shirt colors. If all you have on hand is white and black shirts, let that person know that that's the only colors that you're going to offer them, is white or black. And if they want different colors, then you'll need to renegotiate the terms, because remember, that's money that's coming out of your business account, money that you were not immediately recouping. It's also a good idea to split the barter. And what I mean by this is that if the barter is that we're going to do 20 shirts for a 2-hour massage, make 10 shirts, get your 1-hour massage. Then go back and complete the other 10 shirts and get your other 1-hour massage, or vice versa. Because what you don't want is to get caught in a situation where you've delivered on your end and the other person did not deliver on their end, because believe me, I've been there. It sucks. Like, it really sucks, because again, you're a new business owner, you're trying to get yourself out there, you're interested, you see another new business owner and you're like, okay, they have some connections with people that I want to work with, or people that are in my target audience, and they're going to be out wearing my product, or they're going to be, using my service and talking about my service. And you're putting your time and you're putting your effort into it, and then someone else doesn't hold up their end of the bargain. And I've even experienced this in like my service-based business, where I've done something for someone in exchange for a review, and then I never got that review. Or I've done something for someone and I'm like, okay, and they're supposed to do something else in exchange for me, whether it's, connect me with somebody else, or read over something for me, or help me like go over something to make sure that it looks good, and that it's and that they would be interested from their standpoint. And then they never do it because they don't have time, or whatever the case may be. It's hard, and then it just sucks for the next person, because then that makes you skeptical of wanting to help people and wanting to barter with people. And again, like I said, you never know who knows who and what doors someone else can open for you. So by you not holding up your idea on something as a barter, why would I introduce you to someone else that's on a higher level that can maybe take you higher level places? Because you've already showed me that you're not trustworthy and that you don't stick to your word. So no matter how small something seems to you, when you're a business owner, especially a small business owner, or an entrepreneur, like, the smallest things can make or break you. Bartering, again, it's a great tool. It's a wonderful tool. It does work. You just have to make sure that you are bartering with the right people, and that you are setting down terms, and that you are actually talking about them. And I know one thing that I did want to touch back on, I know that I said in the beginning that barters are usually informal. There are usually no contracts or lawyers or anything like that involved. Lesson that I have learned from bartering is to always get stuff in writing. It doesn't, again, you don't have to get it notarized or any formal contracts, or I'm sorry, not formal contracts. You don't have to get it notarized or lawyers or anything like that, but get something in writing. Like, don't make it just word of mouth. Don't make it just text messages going back and forth. After all of the terms are agreed on, someone needs to sit down and just type everything out. And then both parties just need to sign it, showing that not only did we verbally agree to this barter, but we also we signed this paper agreeing to this barter. And this is what was in the paper, so that nobody can go back later and say, oh, I didn't say that, or, oh, I didn't mean that, because things can get misconstrued in text messages and emails, phone calls. Well, that's a he said, she said type of things. Get it in writing. Both people sign it. So therefore, if anything should happen to come up, you have that proof of this is what we agree. I hope this helps you out. And if you're going to barter, good luck and be safe out there, and just make sure that you're bartering with the right people.
Great tip. I am loving all the tips. Thanks for helping me get my life together. Thank you, Elevated Creations, for this wonderful review.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Modco Podcast. I hope that you enjoy this episode and learn something from it. Be sure to share this episode with a friend, family member, colleague, or anyone that you think will enjoy it. Make sure you also hit the like and subscribe button. If you love the podcast, please leave us a 5-star rating and review on the podcast app you're tuning into. That helps others to find us and gets us listed in other shows' recommendations. And if you would like to financially support the podcast, you can click on the listener support link in the episode show notes. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you next time.